Hello everyone, and welcome to my Royal Family official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. He was the Playboy Prince, destined for a life as a bachelor in the midst of a soap opera of love child scandals. Prince Albert of Monaco was approaching his 50s and had yet to marry or have a legal heir to the throne. But the wealthy future ruler had no shortage of models willing to dangle off his arm, Naomi Campbell being one of them. The son of Grace Kelly also had no trouble wooing women, having enjoyed a secret relationship with an air hostess and a 2-week fling with a waitress, both of which resulted in 2 children out of wedlock. But hushed mouths wondered if he'd ever settle down. And what about the line of succession's future? So, when Albert and Charlene Wittstock said I do, or oui to be precise, in front of European royalty, billionaires and famous pals, there was a collective sigh of relief, followed by a veil of tears from the bride. Even his fairy tale wedding in 2011 was hounded by rumors that it might not take place because his wife, 20 years his junior, allegedly tried to depart the country before their big day. As Albert marks the 12th anniversary of his marriage to Princess Charlene, with whom he has 8-year-old twin children Jacques and Gabriella, Mail Online looks back at his love life and journey to becoming a father, as well as what was going on behind that very uneasy 2011 wedding kiss. The years of the Playboy Prince and rumors of a proposal. In his 20s and 30s, a man-eater, models, and a slew of actresses appeared to catch the prince's roving eye. He was associated to an increasing number of beautiful women. Models Carla Bruni and Janice Dickinson, singer Kelly Minogue, actors Bo Derek and Brooke Shields, and actor Roger Moore's daughter Deborah are among others who have participated. However, if these romances were true, they were never proven. However, in 1993, it looked that a 34-year-old Prince Albert was set to propose to a supermodel. Claudia Schiffer and Prince Harry had been spotted together at a number of high-profile events, including the Grand Prix. The rumor mill went into overdrive as some claimed Albert sent flowers to her magazine shoots and others claimed there had been dates. Such was the excitement and pressure on Albert to settle down. Talk was swirling. Was the world's most expensive model about to marry the world's most elusive bachelor? I prefer not to talk about that, Claudia told Vanity Fair in 1993, between sips of fresh apricot juice at the Ritz's Paris bar. But there is one thing I can tell you, she added. It's the fact that I'm not getting married right now. I'm only 22 years old. Albert is someone I am extremely familiar with. It's only natural because I reside in Monte Carlo. Albert and the palace were both evasive. Their pals, on the other hand, had a suggestion in one magazine that Albert had already proposed, but Claudia had declined. Another person reported that Albert was smitten by a model. However, it wasn't Claudia, but Kristen McMenemy. So, with so many beautiful women to choose from, why couldn't this prince choose his princess? It has worried not only me, but many women I know. Albert told the New York Times in 2005, referring to the magnitude of any woman having to follow in the shoes of his mother, Grace Kelly. Whomever is with me, not even in marriage, whomever goes out with me genuinely, it will be really difficult. Even if she doesn't resemble my mother in any way, she will be compared to her. Nicole Coste is a gorgeous ex-Air France flight attendant with a son who will never be heir. Albert was in for a surprise a month after ascending to the throne at the age of 47 in 2005, when one of his tightly guarded secrets was about to be revealed to the world. Few knew that the prince had a 6-year secret romance with a gorgeous ex-Air France attendant who had also given birth to his son roughly 18 months previously, in 2003. Nicole Coste's connection with the prince began in 1997, after a chance meeting on a flight from Nice to Paris. The flight attendant who handed him champagne was said to have enchanted Albert. The weird thing is that I wasn't even supposed to be on the trip, Nicole told the Mail on Sunday in 2014. I was on standby that day, covering for a co-worker. Because I'd always served in first class, I was used to dealing with VIPs. When I saw Albert, our gazes locked, and I knew something was up. There was obviously an energy around him, and we clicked right away. He was beautiful, with a glint in his eye, I thought. He requested my phone number. I didn't scribble it on a napkin, but on actual first-class cabin paper. I guess he realized I wasn't afraid of him, that I felt at ease in his presence. Albert would later phone and invite her to spend the weekend in Monaco. Nicole was flattered by the attention, but she was determined not to be a plaything. I was adamant that we wouldn't make love until we knew more about each other. Albert was aware of this. I wasn't a gold digger. If anything, I got him presents, she explained. Their affair became Monaco society's best-kept secret, despite the fact that they both attended red carpet events and socialized with socialites and celebrities. The bulk of Albert's subjects were unaware of their connection. "It's not my fault that I fell in love with a royal," Nicole explained. But the relationship fizzled, and Nicole found she was pregnant in its dying days. When I told Albert the news, he was fine with it, she claimed. When their son, Alexander Grimaldi Coste, was born, Albert offered financial support and relocated mother and son to a beautiful villa on the French Riviera. But, tired of being a secret, Nicole gave an explosive tell-all interview to French magazine Paris Match a month after the death of Prince Albert's father, Prince Rainier, disclosing her then 2-year-old baby was Albert's, causing a royal scandal. Prince Albert was supposed to be outraged at his former lover's public declaration at the time. Despite this, he went on to give his own television interview in which he formally admitted that Alexander was his son after undergoing a DNA test. He declared that his illegitimate son would not inherit the kingdom, but promised that Alexander would be financially supported. In 2005, the prince told the New York Times that the ordeal was a really terrible moment for me. Nicole went on to become a fashion designer and to create her own boutique in London's Knightsbridge. Despite the controversy, Prince Albert and Nicole, now 51, have remained friends, participating at the same charity event in subsequent years. If this disclosure had been a litmus test for the prince, he was about to face another public baby bombshell. Tamara Ruotolo is a waitress from California and the actress's daughter. A year after declaring he was the father of Alexander, Prince Albert was obliged to admit he was also the father of Jasmine Grace Grimaldi. Tamara Ruotolo, a waitress turned American estate agent, had an affair with her. Tamara met Prince Albert in 1991 while vacationing on the Côte d'Azur. They had a 2-week affair that culminated in the birth of Jasmine Grace in 1992, but the baby was kept hidden from the public. Tamara was from a very ordinary, working-class family and had decided to go on one major holiday to Monaco. A friend of Tamara's stated in 2005. Albert was completely smitten with her. They were together almost every day and night, and when her 2 weeks were over, he asked her to stay. "I have to get back to work," she said. It was time for a reality check. To her amazement, Albert had not forgotten about her. He maintained in touch through phone, and she could reach him in an instant, no matter where he was in the world. After Prince Rainier discovered the truth, the wall was demolished. All contact was severed. She was hurt first, then enraged and determined to go to court. To conclude the paternity lawsuit, a judge ordered Albert to produce a blood sample in 1993. However, Albert's high-powered attorneys returned to court to argue that California law gave no authority to request the sample. A court agreed, ruling that the matter could not proceed to trial. Albert never affirmed or denied being Jasmine's father. In court papers, he admitted, "I was briefly acquainted with the plaintiff when she was on vacation in Monaco in July 1991. However, the death of Prince Rainier more than 10 years later, combined with Nicole's revelation, proved to be the catalyst for new legal negotiations, and in the summer of 2006, a year after the first love child bombshell, Prince Albert formally recognized Jasmine as his daughter. This is the final one. Both children now bear the Grimaldi surname, and while they will never be able to ascend to the kingdom, they will be able to make a financial claim when their father dies. I wanted that moment to connect with my father, to get to know him, and to have him get to know me, Jasmine said in 2015, recalling her first meeting with her father when she was 11 years old. I miss that since I didn't have that figure around. It's amazing that it happened when it did, and we had a lovely connection since. In a touching Instagram post, Jasmine, now 31 and an actress, detailed her close bond with her half-brother Alexander as he celebrated his 18th birthday. "It's a celebration," she wrote in a series of Instagram images during his birthday party in 2021. "Alexander, have a wonderful birthday." Last year, Prince Albert posed for the first time with his 2 children by former girlfriends. The unusual photograph, shot in New York, was released online by his ex, Nicole. The prince, dressed in an open-necked shirt, has his arm around Jasmine, who has her arm around Alexander. Charlene, the Olympic gold medalist who tamed the Playboy prince. Albert initially met swimmer Charlene Whitstock in Monaco in 2000, where she was representing South Africa, and went on to win gold. Nobody expected a romance to grow. Their lives couldn't have been more dissimilar. Charlene, a sports enthusiast, was 20 years his junior. Her father, Michael, sold photocopiers, and her mother, Lynette, was a competitive diver. However, the couple allowed their relationship to develop slowly away from the spotlight, and they did not make a public appearance until February 2006. The occasion was the Winter Olympics opening ceremony. According to French journalist Philippe Delorme at the time, she remained on his arm for the entire ceremony, and they made no attempt to hide their devotion for each other, sharing kisses and other intimate gestures. Their engagement was confirmed in June 2010. Albert proposed with a diamond ring in the shape of a pear. "People couldn't believe it," Delorme said. "The Monegasques have been holding their breath for 4 years, since they were first spotted together." Charlene, who was raised as a Protestant, was forced to convert to Catholicism and learn both French and the Monegasque vernacular. If the Princess Grace story was a movie, then Princess Charlene is the remake, Delorme told the Daily Mail in 2011. In actuality, Albert is 52, a little overweight, and far less fabulous and glamorous than his father was. "It feels more like a love tale between an old man and a young lady than a love story between 2 young loves," Charlene said in her first interview after the royal wedding was announced, describing the difficulties she had transitioning from the life of an athlete to that of a future royal bride. She also acknowledged to feeling jealousy from some of Monaco's social elite. "The individuals I associated with in Monaco didn't understand my South African mentality or sense of humor," she explained to Tatler. "Of course, I've experienced jealousy, but that comes with the territory. Although I've met several amazing people since moving to Monaco, I consider them all to be acquaintances. I only have 2 people here who I consider pals." Meanwhile, parallels between Princess Grace and Charlene were common, with the wealthy inhabitants of Monaco hoping that the future princess will recapture some of her predecessor's vibrancy and charm. What about the fugitive bride? It was expected to be the wedding of the year, threatening to overshadow Kate and Prince William's nuptials a few months earlier. However, just days before the wedding, rumors began to circulate that Charlene had attempted to exit the country 3 times with a one-way ticket to Johannesburg. According to a Parisian news magazine, Charlene was detained at Nice airport after supposedly learning a distressing surprise about her prospective husband's private life. Charlene had her passport confiscated so that the prince's staff might encourage her to stay, a senior Monaco detective stated at the time. In France, the gossip mill went into overdrive. It was alleged that Charlene had overheard mention of another illegitimate kid, conceived while she was seeing Prince Albert in 2005, who would increase his total number of children born out of wedlock to 3. However, the princess went on to refute the hilarious rumors. "Why would he go to all this trouble to have our dearest friends come join us? Only for us to be hesitant, she asked. My family has long been the subject of rumors bred of jealousy, Prince Albert continued. The PS 53 million wedding and awkward kiss. On June 30, 2011, Charlene, then 33, and Albert, 53, began their 3-day wedding, which was estimated to cost over £53 million. The Eagles kicked off the festivities with a concert, followed by a civil ceremony in the throne room of the Prince's palace the next day. Charlene donned an aquamarine Chanel suit that was custom-made to match the color of her eyes, and the newlyweds posed for some awkward images, no doubt with the wild theories around their heads. The religious ceremony was the final step. Giorgio Armani designed the bride's silk bridal gown, which featured a 6-meter train and was embellished with 40,000 Swarovski crystals and 20,000 mother-of-pearl teardrops. It took 2,500 hours to complete. Among those in attendance were then French President Nicolas Sarkozy, Carla Bruni, Naomi Campbell, Roger Moore, Philip Green, Prince and Princess Michael of Kent, and Prince Edward and Sophie. France's most known chef, Alain Ducasse, prepared the food, while Johnny Hallyday and Andrea Bocelli were scheduled to perform. Princess Stephanie, the groom's younger sister, raised her gaze to the beautifully paneled ceiling representing the history of Alexander the Great as Charlene was asked in French if she would marry Albert Grimaldi. Everyone was holding their breath. Charlene said, "Oui." Then Albert said, "Oui." The crowds outside erupted in applause. Stephanie exhaled deeply and burst into tears on the inside. Under azure skies, the former Olympic swimmer had changed into Princess Charlene of Monaco, Her Serene Highness. Following the event, almost 7,000 citizens were invited to post-ceremony cocktails on the square outside the palace, which was followed by a concert by French composer Jean-Michel Jarre. The rituals were ended by Prince Albert's emotional speech to his new princess. "It's been a really emotional trip, and not always an easy one," he said. "Charlene, thank you for bearing with my inconsistencies and eccentricities. You are an amazing woman. I've made the best decision of my life by marrying you. I'm delighted to share my life with you." However, Charlene appeared solemn and in floods of tears during the wedding, sparking many suspicion. Everything was just so overwhelming, and there were all the mixed emotions because of the rumors, and obviously the tension built up and I burst into tears immediately after the ceremony. And then I burst into tears some more because I was thinking, oh no, now the whole world has seen me cry, Charlene said later in an interview. "I guess I kind of went into Olympic mode. I was in the zone, and I don't think anything was influencing me at that time. When all the rumors started and people were questioning this and that, I just absolutely ignored it," she stated. Albert maintained that their composed expressions had been misconstrued and were unfair. "I thought I paid attention to you, smiled at you many times, but maybe that's not enough for some people," he said to his wife. Finally, a rightful heir to the throne. Charlene's pregnancy was announced as the couple's immense delight in 2014. On December 10, 2014, twins Prince Jacques and Princess Gabriella were born. Gabriella Thérèse Marie was delivered at 5:04 p.m., and Jacques Honoré Rainier was born 2 minutes later. Jacques received precedence in the line of succession despite being the younger sibling, reflecting the primacy accorded to men by Monaco's rules. Charlene's medical problems. As another paternity suit for Albert appeared in 2021, Charlene took a medical hiatus in South Africa and Switzerland. She spent the majority of 2021 away from her husband and children in her native South Africa after catching an ear, nose, and throat infection. Charlene was hospitalized to a European treatment facility in Switzerland shortly after her return to Monaco for mental and physical weariness, missing her twins' 7th birthdays and Albert's 10th wedding anniversary. Albert claimed in interviews at the time that he had stepped up to play a larger role in his children's life, while the family dealt with Charlene's persistent health challenges. "My priority is my family," he stated in an interview at the time, of course without abandoning state affairs. I believe everyone understands that. When I can be with my kids, I do it without hesitation. This is a really significant moment in their lives. How they grow up influences how they see the world, and if one of the parents is gone for medical reasons, the other parent must be present. Charlene's absence followed new allegations in 2021 that Albert had fathered another love child, his third, if proven, in 2005, with an unnamed Brazilian woman. In his court battle to fight the claims, Prince Albert applied for sovereign immunity, which his lawyers dismissed as a hoax. It was claimed that the case will be heard in Milan, but it now appears improbable that the suit will be heard in court. Princess Charlene looked radiant after spending time in Switzerland when she attended Paris Fashion Week. She returned to public duty in May of this year, and the Queen is back to her gorgeous best, attending lavish events such as the Princess Grace Awards in New York and the Monaco Grand Prix. According to sources, her growing dedication to her Catholic faith, as well as the near closeness of her parents Lynette and Mike, who have joined her brother in the Principality from their home South Africa, has contributed to her change. "My family and those I love are my rock," Charlene stated in a rare New Year's Eve interview. "I approach the future one day at a time, step by step." Earlier this year, Mail Online discovered that her father, Mike, 76, and mother, Lynette, 63, had relocated from their home in Johannesburg's suburbs to live permanently in the Monaco area in order to be as close to their daughter as possible. "It has made a world of difference," said a palace source in Monte Carlo who has known Albert and Charlene since before their wedding. The Wittstocks have moved into a property just a few minutes' drive from Charlene, and they meet all the time, making her feel comfortable and protected, and reminding her of the far more carefree life she had in South Africa before becoming a Monaco princess. Charlene's brother, Gareth, 42, relocated to Monaco a decade ago to make sure his sister was taken care of, while her second brother, Sean, 40, is on the phone every day from South Africa, according to the source. According to another Monaco-based source, serious illness and other personal challenges, including marital concerns, have pushed Charlene to turn to God as often as she can. She is inspired by Catholicism, and it has helped her through some very sad moments. The prince himself concedes it has been a difficult journey, noting over Christmas that Charlene has had tough years. "I'm incredibly proud of my wife," he said, recounting how the princess became unwell in May 2021 after returning to South Africa alone, necessitating many medical procedures. Her return to Monaco was postponed until November 2021, after which she chose to heal discreetly in Switzerland before reuniting with her family in April 2022. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.